But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So we'll find a comfortable seated position. So if that for you is seating cross-legged, or if you would prefer to sit kind of on the back of your legs, if you come up to here, it's going to be a little bit challenging on the feet. And this may be a little bit challenging after all on your knees. But whatever works for you. And like I said before, you can come seated onto a block or again, cross-legged. We'll get some cervical spine rotation. So we'll do a little bit of circumduction. With circumduction, it's basically just a nice, easy rotation of the neck. But just be mindful, if your neck isn't ready to go all the way back, you can just go left ear to left shoulder, rolling forward, chin to chest, right ear to right shoulder. We'll go to the other side. Inhale here, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, rolling through the chin. Inhale, left ear to right shoulder. Left shoulder, excuse me. And then exhale, rolling through the other direction. So keep moving with your breath, finding what works for you, what works for your neck. And maybe you want to go all the way. So if you're going 360 degrees, again, moving with your breath, I'll let you know when we're going to switch the other direction, the other rotation. So whichever rotation direction you picked, that's perfect. Exhaling and inhaling. Circumduction of the spine, cervical spine. And if this is too much too, you can always just do some twists. Bringing your gaze to the left, inhale. Exhale, gaze to the right. If you're doing circumduction, rotating 360 degrees one direction, as you exhale, chin to chest, rotate the opposite direction of what you're going. Warming up the spine, warming up the neck. A lot of tension is held in the neck and in the shoulders. Moving with the breath, connecting those together. Eventually, you're going to meet with your chin. We're going to all meet with our chin next to our chest on our exhale. And once we're there, we'll slowly come forward, finding a fold. So options for a seated forward fold, if you want to keep the back pretty straight and then bringing pretty much the lower portion of your spine all the way down first and then coming down with the top portion of your spine, that'll be really good on your hips, a little stretch here, and then on your hamstrings. If you're working towards lower back, you do kind of want to suck in the gut a little bit and then bring the chin down towards the chest. And then you'll feel a deeper stretch in the lower back, and you may not come down as far. So choosing what works for you. Inhale, exhale, maybe you come down a little bit deeper. Inhale, exhale in the fold. And inhale, wherever you are folded, we'll slowly press up, coming back, crossing our legs the other direction. Inhaling here. Exhale, fold. Again, working on what works for you, what you're trying to target here. If it's maybe a little bit of hamstring and hips, thinking of more of a straight, flat back, and then coming down. You're working on lower back, maybe getting a little bit lifted in the chest, sucking in the gut a little bit, hollowing out here, lifting the spine, and then bending at the lower back. Yogi's choice. Inhale. Exhale in the fold. Checking in with your body, seeing how that fold feels on you. Inhale.
Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, place your hands on the mat. Slowly roll yourself up. And then grabbing on to your strap or dog leash or pants or whatever it is that you have, we'll slowly just come to a stand. If you want to be on your knees, that's fine. I might be on my knees purely because you might not see me. So standing on your knees or whatever works for you, which is something comfortable. So this hurts your knees, don't do it. So you're gonna bring your strap in your hands like this. And you're gonna have the strap a little bit long and until you feel you can bring your arms all the way back. So if here, you get stuck here and you have to do crazy things to contort and bend, your hands are too close together. So just checking really quick and just seeing, okay, that works for me. So they might be pretty wide because we haven't opened up the shoulders just yet. So inhale here, we'll all find our hands, arms up and overhead. Exhale, rotating back. Inhale, rotating up and over. Exhale, back. Inhale, up and over. A little mobility, a little strength. Moving with the breath. On the inhale, we'll all meet with our arms up and overhead. And then we'll bring our right ear to our right arm with our arm, not with our neck necessarily. And here, when we inhale, we'll rotate back like this, getting a nice opening in that right side shoulder cup. Exhale, rotate back forward. So this is just working on the right side. Again, moving with the breath. And moving that shoulder cuff, whatever feels good to you. If it feels painful or pinching too much, you can broaden your hands, broaden your arms a little bit. Small, smooth rotations with the breath. On the next inhale, we'll all meet with our hands up and overhead. And then we'll bring the left arm to the left ear and do the left side. So again, small rotations here. One of my arms is not as flexible as the other one. You may have a little bit of pops, that's what I'm hearing. And then on your next inhale, we'll meet with our arms up and overhead. Maybe you bring your hands in just a little bit and we'll bring our arms back up and behind. Maybe you have a little bit more mobility now. Up and over and behind. And maybe again, you find, oh, I can have a little bit closer together. Up and over. And this is just warming up your shoulders. Maybe you couldn't have done this at the very beginning of class, but after you got a little bit of warm up and that shoulder rotation, you can get to this point. Inhale, exhale. And we'll all meet with our arms up and overhead. We'll slowly come down to our knees, like this. Again, if you want a nice stretch in the back of your feet, you can always come onto tucked toes. We'll have our strap nearby, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with our hands. So you're going to have your right arm out, your left arm out. Your right palm is facing in front of you,
Your left palm is facing behind you. Inhale, out and long. Exhale, right hand behind the head. Inhale, left arm behind the back. Maybe they can touch, doesn't matter. Inhale, hands come back out long. Exhale. Inhale, straight. Exhale. And maybe you can only come to about here. That's perfect. Remember how much mobility you may have gotten after doing a little bit of warming up on your shoulders. The next time you inhale, bringing your arm out long, grab onto the strap. I would say the end without the metal with the right hand. As you bring your right arm over, maybe you can grab onto the strap. Maybe you can grab and clasp hands, bringing your right elbow all the way up, left elbow all the way back and down. So your right elbow or your right arm is up and down, and so is your left arm. This is Gomukhasana, cow face arms. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, nice chest opener as well with your hands kind of pressing into your chest. Exhale. And inhale, letting go of the clasp, letting go of the whatever you have holding on to, and pressing the wall out. And thinking too, that you're not hanging on any of these joints. You're pressing your arm bone into your socket while also pressing out. So you're using the muscles and not the joints. Inhale and exhale. Let's do the other side. So your left hand will face out, your right hand will face back. Inhale here. Exhale, left arm up, right arm behind. Maybe they touch, doesn't matter. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, reaching behind. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, reaching behind. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, reaching behind. Inhale, straighten. Finding your strap, whatever you're using, with your left hand. And exhale, maybe grabbing a hold of it. Maybe going further and clasping hands behind your back. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe this side's a little bit different. For me, this side's a little bit more sensitive, a little less flexible. Inhale. Exhale into the shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale as you release the clasp. And exhale, hands push out on either side. Again, bringing that arm bone into the shoulder socket, pressing away, using that muscle engagement. Inhale. Exhale. We'll come onto our hands and knees, moving our little strap away, whatever we were using. And we'll inhale as we guide our chest forward, roll our shoulders back, pelvis tilts, gaze rise, cow. Exhale, bringing our hollow body in. Gaze comes between the knees, pelvis tilts the opposite direction, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And inhale, coming into a flat neutral spine. We'll do a little bit of core work here. So inhale as you step the right leg back, pressing into that right foot, engaging the core. Exhale here. Inhale, yogi's choice. You can bring your knee up just off the mat, or you can press your knee up into your chest. Inhale, exhale, lower. Maybe it hovers an inch. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, lowers. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, lowering all the way back down. Right knee comes back to the mat. Left leg straightens, tucking that left foot into the mat. And we'll do the other side. So yogi's choice here. Inhale as you bring your knee into your chest. Exhale, lower. Maybe it hovers. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, lower. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, lower. Keeping our right knee on the mat, bringing our foot, kicking it out to the right, like a little kickstand. We'll roll onto our right arm and right knee. Our left hand can come onto our hip. Our left shoulder opens up. Engaging the side body will lift that leg, flex the foot. Our left hand can come up to the sky. Our gaze can come to our left thumbnail. And then this may challenge the balance. So if you fall out, that's okay. You can slowly come back up. Inhale. Exhale, modified half moon. Inhale. And exhale, slowly bringing your left hand to your hip. Left foot lowers. And then coming back onto hands and knees, we'll get the other side. So your left knee is on the ground. You can straighten the right leg. You can bring the left ankle out just a little bit like a kickstand. Bringing your right hand to your right hip, opening up that shoulder, and then engaging the side body, lifting the right leg up, flexing the foot. Inhale. Exhale, maybe bring your right arm up, and then maybe your gaze goes to your right thumb. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll lower the foot, lower the hand, come back onto hands and knees. And then from here, we'll go ahead and bring our right arm up to the ceiling. And then we'll bring our right arm behind our left arm, threading it through, and then lowering our right shoulder onto the mat. Our left hand can stay here. It can come up overhead. It can come onto the right hip or right hip flexor. So this should be a nice deep shoulder opening on the right side. If you want to work on your core, work on your balance, you can always hover that left knee, or maybe lift that left foot a little bit, or extend that leg all the way up. But this is primarily a shoulder opener. So if that takes you out of the stretch on your shoulder, don't do it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, lower your left leg if it's lifted. Bringing your left hand to the mat. Inhale, pressing into your left hand as your right arm goes back up to the ceiling, gazing at that right thumbnail. Exhale, hand comes back to the mat. Inhale, left arm comes up to the ceiling, gazing at that left thumb, and then threading it to the other side. So left shoulder slowly comes down. Options for the right hand, where it was, up and overhead, or maybe you wrap it around, grabbing onto that left thigh. And then again, you can just hover the right knee. Maybe you start to straighten it a little bit. Maybe you lift it all the way up. Again, this is kind of a core and balance challenge, but the main emphasis should be the left shoulder opener. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, lowering the right knee. If it's lifted, lifting up the right hand, placing it back on the mat, pressing into the right hand as you inhale, lifting your left arm up to the ceiling, gazing at that right thumb, and then placing it down. So we'll go ahead and straighten that left leg again, kick our right leg out like a kickstand, coming onto our right side, left hand onto the hip. So an option here to take, and this may be a challenge on the balance, but it'll be a nice hip flexor opener and a quad stretch, is once you come to here, keep your hand on the hip, engaging your core, flexing the foot. Then maybe you bend your knee and maybe you just stay here and that's perfect. Or maybe you grab onto the foot. So if you want to reach onto the inside of the foot or the outside may make you try to bring your foot up. You do want to keep your foot kind of behind your hip. So if you want to kick out and get more of a back bend, hip flexor, your foot stays kind of parallel with your hip versus coming up at a kind of funky angle. So finding what you need for your quad stretch hip flex opener. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, releasing the bind, placing your hand back on your hip, foot on the mat, hand down, knee down. We'll get to the other side. So again, your right leg comes out long, your left foot kicks out like a kickstand, rolling onto your left side, engaging the foot, and then bending the leg. Maybe you stay here, maybe you clasp onto the foot, and then maybe you kick into the foot. Again, keeping the foot relatively behind the right hip versus canting it up. And that way you're focusing primarily on that quad stretch and that back bend. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, release the bind if you have it, lowering the foot, hand comes back to the mat, knees come onto the mat, and then you tuck your toes, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, maybe you bring one heel down to the mat at a time. Inhale, exhale. And inhale, we'll find stillness in a downward facing dog. Exhale, we'll slowly step to the front of the mat, coming into a forward fold. Once you're here in your forward fold, bring your hands behind your back. Clasp them here. Options are to keep your wrists together. Some people like to have the wrists open. If you're going deeper only because your wrists are open, maybe try bringing them together. We're going to have a little bit of a shoulder opener here. So if it's easier to kind of have a micro bend in your elbows to protect your shoulders. So from your hands on your lower back, you'll open up, finding your shoulder opener here. Inhale. Exhale, releasing the neck, shaking the head, no, shaking it, yes. Inhale. Exhale, maybe you get a little bit of a deeper fold. Inhale, placing your hands back on the lower back, and then threading the hands opposite. So if you have left thumb on top, now you have right thumb on top. Inhale. Exhale, bringing your hands up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale.
Inhale. And exhale, bringing your hands back onto your lower back, releasing the clasp, and then bringing your hands to the mat. Inhale. Exhale, finding stillness. Inhale, strong in the back of the legs as we slowly rise up to the top of our mats. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bringing our arms out and overhead. And exhale, we'll have a small bend to the right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, small bend to the left. This is a lateral spinal flexion here. Inhale. Exhale. Engaging the side body, coming back up. Inhale. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. Exhale, as you lower the right knee down, untuck the right toe. Maybe you scoot your right leg back just a little bit, finding a deep, low lunge fold here. So you're gonna have a nice deep hip flexor stretch. And as you inhale, maybe you come up onto this knee or hands onto the hip, bringing that right hip, squaring it to the left, squaring your right and left hip to the front of the mat. Maybe you come down a little bit lower. Again, a nice deep stretch on that right side. Inhale here and exhale as you bend to the left. You can bring your arm up overhead. You can come onto the left side, maybe onto a block. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, coming out of that lateral flexion. And exhale, maybe you bend your right leg, grabbing a hold of it, and getting a nice stretch in front of that quad. If you need to find your strap and then hook it on to that right leg instead, that's gonna be a really nice way to be able to achieve that if you can't grab onto it. You don't wanna be on the top of your right knee. That might put a lot of pressure on that right knee. Whoops. But yeah, you mostly just wanna be kind of forward so that right knee isn't gonna be in a lot of pain. Inhale, exhale, releasing the bind, lowering the right foot down, placing your hands on either side of the left foot, tucking the toes of the right foot, lifting the right knee, stepping back, downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, glide forward into a plank. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your chest, and then come forward into a cobra. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the toes, press back through the knees, downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, step the right leg forward between the hands. Exhale, step the left leg forward, fold. Inhale as we slowly rise. Inhale, bringing our arms out and up. And I do want to say, if you want to do the side bends with your hands on your hips, you totally can. Exhale as we lean to the right, lateral flexion of the spine. Again, pressing into the left side. So you get a really nice bend here. Not trying to crunch down to the right. Just a nice lateral flexion. Inhale. Exhale, maybe come a little bit deeper. Inhale, engaging that side body, coming up. And exhale, going to the left side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stepping the left leg back this time.
Exhale, lowering the left knee and tucking the left foot. Again, finding your low lunge pose. So maybe you press that left knee a little bit further back. Your strap is close by. And then engaging the core, you can bring strong in the hips. So either square to the front of the mat, you can place your hands on that right knee or hands onto your hips. And then you can bring your left arm up and then a little dip to the right. If you want to have a block onto the right side, you can, or bringing your hand to the mat. This will be a deep inner hip opener. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale, coming back up, finding your strap if you wanted it, and then bending that left foot, placing the strap around, bending that left foot, and then maybe just using the strap to get a nice deep stretch here. Or maybe you grab onto the foot, and then depending on your flexibility, maybe you bring your heel all the way to your hip. I like to keep my elbow out versus bowing it forward. Inhale, exhale. So whatever you need to really open here. And again, if you come onto the top of the knee, that might be pretty painful. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, releasing the bind, releasing the strap. Eventually, I'll get mine out. Tucking the toes of the left foot, lifting the left knee, and then stepping that right foot back, downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, glide forward into a plank. Exhale, knees lower, chest lowers, scooping forward into a cobra as you inhale. Exhale, pressing through the knees into downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. We'll be here a little bit longer now that I'm not rushing to start the new video. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, finding stillness in your downward facing dog. And inhale as you bring the left knee forward into a lunge. Exhale, step the right foot forward, fold. Inhale, strong in the legs as you rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, as you step the left leg back into a high lunge, placing the left heel to a 45 or a 90 degree. And now your hips are really open. They're kind of aligned with that right foot. Your heel is into the pocket of your foot. If it had a line there, you can see with your right knee really open, the right big toe. And so depending on your strength, your flexibility, you can come a little bit lower, bringing your thigh parallel with the mat, just making sure your knee is on top of your foot. I also want to emphasize, so these are slides, they're very slippery. So here, I'm placing my foot, on a slide. And instead of sliding and keep going that way, I'm engaging these inner thigh muscles to stay together. So without necessarily placing your feet onto something slippery, just thinking of that engagement here. Arms are pressed out, inhale. Exhale, we've been in Warrior Two for a while, so we'll inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale, if you have a block nearby, that's great. If not, exhale,
we'll start to lean forward, coming into triangle, keeping that same opening of the hips. Maybe you just come onto the right thigh. Maybe you come onto the shin. What you don't necessarily want to do with triangle is try to get so low that you compensate by bringing that left hip forward. Open up that left hip, and this will be a nice side body stretch here. So maybe you don't come that far forward, but you still get a nice side body stretch here, keeping that left hip nice and open. The right hip jets a little bit forward so they're aligned with each other. You can just have your hands energetically out, engaging the side body, pressing that right hand into the calf or all the way onto the ground, depending on your own flexibility. Inhale. Exhale. If you want to work on a little core, you can wrap your left arm behind your back and inhale, bring your right arm parallel with the mat. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, bringing your right arm back, left arm up and ahead. And we'll start to slowly bend our right leg. A block is great, but if you don't have one, you can bring your hand to a cupcake hand. As you slowly bring your hand there, you're eventually going into half moon. So if you have your own half moon pose, go ahead and take it now. I'll talk through it a little bit. So it's a nice balanced pose where your right hand is in front of your right foot. You balance on that right foot as you slowly bring that left leg up. And again, your left hip is open. Your left hand can just be on your hip or up and overhead. Your gaze can be down on your right hand, or slowly, it can come back up to that left thumb. Inhale. Exhale, finding your half moon. Again, a little bit easier if you have a block, but either staying in half moon or bending the left leg, grabbing a hold of that left foot, and then coming into your sugar cane. Finding a nice deep quad opener, hip flexor opener. Inhale. Exhale, maybe a challenge on the balance. Inhale. And exhale, releasing that bind if you have it. Inhale in your half moon. Exhale, lower that left leg all the way back down. Inhale, straightening that right leg. Exhale, bringing our feet to 45s, finding a nice wide-legged fold. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. We'll go on to the left side in that lunge. So you can set up for warrior two here, bringing that right leg or that right foot to a 45 or 90-degree angle, and then slowly lifting up, finding your warrior two legs. So as they were before, another thing to also think about is if you're really far forward and most of your weight is on that left thigh, it's gonna feel like a really big thigh burner. If a lot of your weight is too far behind, it's overcompensated on that right leg. So figuring out where your body weight is gonna be on your legs as they are holding you up. And inhale, arms out and long. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, gazes towards your left middle finger. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, folding to the left, coming into your triangle pose. This side may be a little bit more flexible, maybe a little bit less flexible. Again, try not to compensate by bringing that right hip forward. Open the hips, open the chest. Inhale.
Exhale. Beautiful. If you want a little bit of that core challenge, bring that right arm, wrapping it around your back. Left arm is parallel with the mat. You want a bigger challenge? You could always just bring that right arm up and overhead. Yogi's choice. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, bring your left arm back. Your right hand can stay at your hip. You can start to bend your left leg, scoot your right leg a little bit closer, placing your left hand in front of your right foot or on a block if you have it, and slowly start to put your weight into that left leg, keeping that right hip open. Maybe your right hand stays on your hip, or maybe it comes up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, finding your half moon. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you bend the right leg, grabbing a hold of it, and then kicking into your right hand, finding your sugar cane. Inhale. Exhale. If you ever want to take this a little bit deeper, you can bring your gaze back to the mat, bring your left hand onto your chest. Lots of options here. Or bringing your gaze up to the ceiling. A little bit of a challenge. Inhale. Exhale, releasing the foot if you're bound. And then slowly we'll all lower our right leg back down. Left leg straightens, coming through to a wide-legged forward fold with the feet out at a 45. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll slowly start to bend our right knee. Our left foot can come up, foot is engaged. Our hands can come to heart center or stay on the mat. Now we'll shift to the left side, Skandasana. You'll stay nice and low as you either press into the mat or engage your core, going onto the left side. Your left foot can be lifted up, depending on your mobility, or if your foot can come all the way to the mat. Your hands, again, can stay at heart center or onto the mat. And then we'll shift to the right side, Skandasana. So continue to move. Beautiful. So continue to move with your own breath from one side to another. If you want to stay on one side or move nice and slow, maybe there's a certain area that you really, really like and you want to stay there for a few breaths, feel free to do that. Inhale. Exhale, watching out for those puppies. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We'll all eventually meet on our left side because that's where we started. After we have a little bit of fun with Skandasana. And then we'll press into the mat, straighten both legs, coming back onto our wide-legged fold. We'll bring our hands behind our backs, straighten our hands up and overhead, finding again a nice shoulder opener. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, bringing the hands back to the lower back, rethreading the fingers so the opposite thumb is on top, and exhale, finding a neat, nice deep fold, bringing our arms up to the ceiling. You can have a micro bend in the elbow to protect your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, lowering your hands back down, placing them onto the mat, coming onto the right foot, bringing your left foot back into your normal lunge. So with the left leg back, right leg forward, lunge, inhale, exhale, step the right leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up, three-legged dog. Keep the hip down, matching the left hip. So normally you can fly that right hip up, but today we're just gonna keep that hip engaged with the left. Inhale, maybe it doesn't fly as high, but you can still kind of bring it up while matching the hip. Exhale. And inhale, we'll bring our knee to our nose. And then we'll kick the leg, our right leg out to the left. You can hover it, I just dropped mine, but we'll all lower it back down to the mat, keeping it there. It's a little bit tricky. We'll lift our left arm up, rotating onto our left foot, and then lifting our hips up to the sky, falling star. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lowering that left foot back down, tucking the toes of the left foot, bringing that right knee into the chest, press into three-legged dog, and inhale, bringing the leg forward into a pigeon pose. So your right knee is to the right, left foot is to the left. Your shin may be parallel with the front of the mat, but that's really deep stretch. Engaging the core, engaging the hips, and this is the strength that you need to hold a split pose or a mermaid pose so you don't fall to one side. We're not going to take our full pigeon, we'll just do some small lowering down, coming back up. So again, staying up for a moment, placing your hands wide, cupcake hands. It's like there's a cupcake underneath your hand and you don't want to smush it. So long spine as you inhale, and exhale, slowly lowering down. Maybe your forehead kisses the mat, maybe it doesn't. And then inhale, lifting it back up, really exaggerating it to make sure that lower back feels really nice. Exhale again, slowly lowering down. And inhale, coming back up. One last time, exhale, slow lower. Inhale, pressing back up. Hands come back onto the mat. Left feet tuck, left leg, left knee lifts. Right knee comes into our chest. Exhale, pressing it back to three-legged dog. Inhale as we step our right foot to the right side of our right hand. So coming into our lizard pose. Inhale. Exhale, you can lower the left knee and tuck the left foot. And exhale, you can lower down to a block, maybe just staying on the elbows. Maybe, awkward shift, maybe staying up high, you come onto the knife edge or pinky edge side, opening up the right knee, and come down here. So some people like that better, but I would just say not moving up and down when you're in a full stretch, because that may hurt some of the joints. So we'll stay in our lizard pose for a few breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And this pose is really, really challenging for someone that, I don't know, sits a lot. So if you sit a lot in your job, this may be really tight and harder to do. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, we'll slowly start to come up onto our hands. We'll start to press that right leg open, coming onto that pinky edge side. And then maybe with our chest to the right, maybe we can bend our left leg and grab hold of our left foot, and then coming into a deep quad bend here. Inhale. Exhale. Lowering that left leg down, bringing your right foot back into a lunge. We'll tuck the left toes, lift the left knee,
Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale as we bring our knee into our chest, and then we kick our left leg out to the left, and then placing it down, rooting into our right foot as we lift the hips up to the sky, finding our falling star, really lifting the hips up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, placing the right hand back down. Left leg comes back. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale. Bringing our left leg forward into our pigeon. Finding what you need for your pigeon breath. Inhale here, strong in the hips. Exhale, placing your hands on either side of the mat. Inhale, strong. Exhale, small fold. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Last one, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. So placing our hands back on the mat, tucking our right toes, lifting our right knee, left leg is into our chest, stepping it back, three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, step the left leg to the left, and we'll come into our lizard pose. Right leg, right knee lowers, right foot untucks. Coming down to your lizard, whatever works for your body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. As we start to press back up onto our hands. If your left leg isn't already onto the pinky-ish side, go ahead and do that. Opening up your right leg, left knee, keeping your right arm on the mat. And I didn't offer, if you have a really big flexibility, mobility, you can come down onto your right elbow. If not, you can come up onto your hand and then small bend in that right leg, maybe clasping on to that right foot and finding that nice deep quad stretch here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lowering that foot down, placing the left hand down onto the mat, and then just bringing that left leg to the mat. Oof, I can't talk. And then laying down on the mat. A little bit of a break. Bringing our left arm out, almost like a T, keeping our right arm pressed into the mat. You can bend your right foot, and then depending on your body, you're going to start to push in with the right hand coming to the left. Maybe your right foot presses down onto the mat on the other side. This is a nice deep shoulder opener. Maybe readjusting, of course, coming all the way back down. You want to take your left hand into goalpost arms. Finding that, I wouldn't do it if I'm in the full stretch, by the way. And then pressing back. I can't go that far when I'm in goalpost arms. I find that this, for me, is a way deeper stretch. So whatever your body feels like it needs, we'll take that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, lowering that right hip back down to the mat. Right foot comes back down. We'll straighten the right arm, placing the left arm into the mat. Or maybe you want to take goalpost arms. By the way, this is goalpost arms. So maybe you want to take goalpost arms. We'll bend the left leg, and start to push our left side over to the right. I'm in goalpost arms, so I really can't go too far on this side, which is just fine because I really feel a deep stretch in my right shoulder here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, coming back down. And then we're gonna gracefully roll onto our backs. We'll get another bit of the shoulders. So we'll bend the right knee, bringing our foot onto the mat. And then this is a little bit awkward. We'll press or lift the right side of our body up as we bring our right hand and wrist with the palm down onto, behind our right shoulder blade. So maybe it doesn't go that high, that's okay. So whatever works for your body, so the hand and the wrist. And then we'll slowly straighten that right leg, bending the left leg, coming over to the right. So our left shoulder maybe lifts a little bit, our left hip maybe lifts a little bit. This is sort of a shoulder hero pose. You'll really feel this in the back side of that right shoulder. It may be too much, so coming out of it a little bit. So inhale, exhale, and inhale, exhale. Inhale, coming back onto a flat back, pressing our right foot into our mat, lifting our right side, moving our hand down. Maybe you want to move it a little bit, find a little bit of mobility in that rotator cuff. I'm just moving to the other side so you can see. We'll do the same thing, but the other side. So placing our left foot onto the mat, lifting up our rib cage, placing our left hand now, palm down, wrist and hand underneath the left rib cage. Right foot on the mat, left foot straight. We'll slowly start to roll onto our left side. Looks like this left side for me is a little bit more mobile. Again, this is a little bit of a hero stretch on the left shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, only going as far as your body allows. Maybe it pinches too much, so come out of it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, slowly coming out of it, pressing the left foot into the mat, lifting the ribs up, removing that arm, and then maybe just a little bit of mobility to kind of make that, just kind of move that shoulder around, warm it back up. And then we'll do the same thing, but with our legs. So I'm grabbing onto the back of the thighs with our legs up. We'll slowly rock up and down. A little bit of a stretch here. And then we'll come on to our legs, crossing at the shins, pressing back into our back of our knees. So we'll come on to hero's pose. So with hero's pose, we'll do one side at a time. With hero's pose, we can keep the left leg straight, and then we'll have the right leg, the calf, a little bit open with our knees together, and maybe the heel is out just a little bit. Nice deep stretch in front of that right thigh. And maybe you can come down from here just a little bit. Maybe you come onto your elbows. Inhale. Exhale. This is just a half hero. Maybe that's all you take today. Inhale, slowly pressing back up. And then we'll straighten, so lifting that right leg up, straightening that right leg, coming onto our left side, bringing our left side in. Again, coming on the inside of that calf. Our knees are kind of together. Our foot is, we're not kind of crunching it, and then it's kind of out. Coming into our half hero on this side, on left side. Maybe you stay here and that's the stretch that you need. Maybe you come onto elbows. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. You can always bring your head back a little bit, find a deep throat opener. Exhale. Inhale, coming back up, coming back onto your hands, slowly coming up. And then from here, I think it's best to straighten that left leg and then coming slowly onto our knees and slowly coming to a full heroes. If you just want to take half hero on both sides, you can. I like to open up my calves a little bit so I can actually sit. If you need to sit on something like a block, totally awesome. It'll kind of keep it a little bit out of the intense part of the pose. Knees are together, and then your heels are outside of your hips. Maybe you stay here because this is an intense stretch. Maybe you start to come back onto your elbows. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you bring your head back. Inhale. Maybe you come all the way back, lying down on your back. Exhale. I cannot demo that right now because my left knee is talking to me. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, pressing back up. Coming slowly forward. Getting off of those knees a little bit. And then we can kind of kick the feet a little bit. And then maybe a little side to side because the knees may have gotten a little bit of an extra workout, but it should have felt like a really nice deep stretch in the hip flexors here. Inhale. And exhale, we'll cross again at the shins, coming back onto our seats. And we'll do a little bit of twist, laying all the way back down, bringing our right knee into our chest, bringing our right leg to the left, right shoulder stays on the mat, gaze to the right. Maybe you grab onto the right leg with the left hand. Again, you're still focusing on a spinal twist, so if that sort of brings you out of that, you can let go of that foot. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, bringing the right knee into the chest. And exhale, left knee comes into the chest. Inhale, straightening out your left leg. Right leg, left leg stays into the chest. Inhale here. Exhale, bringing your left leg to the right. Gaze is to the left. Left shoulder into the mat. And maybe you hold on to the left foot with the right hand. But the biggest thing is a spinal twist, not necessarily a hamstring stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale as you slowly bring that left knee back into the chest, coming out of your twist, right knee into the chest, reaching between your knees, grabbing onto the outsides of the feet or maybe just the big toes. And we'll find our happy baby. So maybe you bring your heels up a little higher, maybe your tailbone lifts just a little bit to give yourself a nice lower back stretch. And then your knees kind of go towards your armpits, kind of like a double lizard here. Inhale, or maybe you just go side to side. Maybe you find stillness, whatever you want for your happy baby. We'll be here for a few breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, letting go of the feet, bringing your legs out long, bringing your hands down to your mat. Your gaze is soft or eyes closed. Letting the breath come in and out naturally.
Finding your Shavasana or corpse pose. If you really liked taking legs up the wall last week and you want to do it again, feel free. Start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, circle your wrists, circle your ankles, bringing your arms up overhead, stretch. Exhale, rolling onto your left or right side, bringing your knees up into your chest, resting on your lower arm bicep, pressing in with the upper arm, finding your comfortable seated position. Namaste. Thank you so much. But if you have some sort of like strap or like even like a towel or something with a little bit of length, because we're going to be doing a little bit of this for shoulder mobility. So if it's like too short, like a washcloth, you might be like, oh, I can't do that.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, a dog leash. This is not a dog leash, but it's very similar to one. Just as long as you don't hit yourself with a buckle, would be perfect. And then of course, I really recommend yoga blocks because I think they're amazing, but I know that not everyone has one. I just think they're great for helping with mobility of like your pelvis when you're doing like seated and maybe when you're sitting down and you just feel like you're not able to sit all the way up because your pelvis just isn't there yet, your strength isn't there yet maybe, and your flexibility of your hip flexors isn't quite there yet. So maybe having a block underneath helps to kind of bring your pelvis a little bit higher